Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris Phelps, and my co-host and very good friend is Mr. Dave Horrocks.
Hey there, Chris. It is glorious to speak to you today because today is a momentous day, Chris. Last night we hit a major milestone for our podcast, didn't we? What was that?
We did, Dave. We were sat there. We just released episode 3 of the Love Island USA, and we were about 60 off hitting 100,000 downloads, which is unfucking believable because the idea for this podcast was just born out of a quick chat, something you had no interest in watching, reality stuff, and here we are, eclipsing anything else we've done. We love all our podcasts, and honestly, we can't thank everybody enough. We did a little tweet, Facebook, Instagram. We had a couple of drinks, Dave, didn't we, to celebrate? But honestly, I genuinely, I'm not trying to speak for you, I am so pleased that people listen to us, download, like it. We've got a great little community on social media. Honestly, it's beyond our dreams that we could do this. I'm so happy.
It's great, mate. And the fact that it's Vegas that tipped us over the edge, it's poetic. You couldn't have made it up. I remember, Chris, like I can picture myself exactly where I was. I was walking into town. It was a sunny day. We were just having this chat, and obviously I was the Love Island cynic, and you were the Love Island lover, super fan. I was like, yeah, we'll have these completely different perspectives, and I'll kind of criticize it all the time, and you'll defend it, and it's just completely changed. It's evolved and morphed into something completely different. But I don't think in this little kind of project that we had, we never thought we'd get to numbers like this, and it's so humbling that people like listening to me and you talk and just give our own opinions on what's going on in the villa or in Vegas in this case. And yeah, it's amazing, Chris.
It is, David, and it's great for everyone who supported us, family as well. Family, friends have been there. Sam's having to put up with me all the time, editing, podcasting, Dave. I've got a nice little studio set up in our big double living room, so we shut the door and I'm away. So I get the odd Ross moment where she's doing the old, "Can you keep it down?" The old fingers come out and that, like the crocodile shadow thing. But genuinely, I'm so pleased, and I think what it does for me and you is it just shows, doesn't it, that we are just two friends talking over a drink or having a brew, depending when we record it. Just observational stuff about what we see on like Love Island, Too Hot to Handle, Love Is Blind. Obviously, the original idea was purely Love Island. The Love Island cast was our original name, and then we changed it because we were getting so many requests to watch different reality stuff. So, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Dave. I'm still saying, though, and you've got to go with what people say, Dave. Our lovely listeners, and I suppose you could call people fans and supporters, they're all saying Selling Sunset, Mr. Horrocks, and it's there in black and white. I'm sorry, but we've got to get on it. When we've done Love Island, obviously.
I'll commit to watching one episode, but that fucking Housewives of Cheshire, you did me in, and so I think I got like 10, 20 minutes into that one. I was like, right, I'm done. I'm not watching any more of this shit. There's time I'll never get back. And then I started watching that Selling Sunset. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake, this is the same kind of thing. So. I'll probably bow to peer pressure or listener pressure, just to do one episode. But I don't see me getting sucked into that one.
Dave, we heard all this about 15 months ago with Love Island, so let's not jump to any conclusions just yet.
Well, let's see, but let's enjoy this season first. Now, Chris, can we start off with Trey in the middle there?
Yeah.
So what do you think of how that kind of story evolved through the episode?
I am genuinely, I felt for both girls today, Justine and Kaitlyn. I know Kaitlyn's got this, she's had this little bit of a sketchy side to her, I think, in the show. And Trey, my God. But they need to have a bit of respect for themselves because they're waiting on this guy's every word, right? And he's like talking to Justine, like, yeah, we're together. Yeah, we're going to be together. Next minute, he's saying to Kaitlyn, what do you think? Do you think we should be together? And I'm like, he doesn't see what he's doing is fucking wrong. And the poor girls are there waiting on his his every breath. And I'm like, they need to sort of he should be the one fighting for them, not them fighting for him. And I know he has the power because the guys are recoupling. So you could say, is it a recoupling move? Is it a bit of bullshit, typical Love Island, just to get that extra couple of days in Vegas? I genuinely, I think he made the right choice. I think there seems to be more there with Justine. I think Kaitlyn, in some respect, I didn't trust the Dave. I could be wrong. I did think she was probably doing it just to stay in the villa a bit longer. But Trey, if he's going to carry on doing this, Dave, as soon as another girl comes in, like you said in the last episode, fucking meerkat, his head's going to be up. He's going to be spinning on its axis. He's going to be like, oh, hello, would you like to get with me? So I think this is going to become a pattern for the lad because I just don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. And he certainly doesn't see anything wrong in what he's doing.
I might surprise you here, Chris. I think tonight I'm going to cut Trey a little bit of slack, right? So, and the reason being, all three of them were just playing it tactically. That's all it was. That's all that I saw. I didn't see that he was like, trying to get that romantic connection with both of them. I think he was just feeling out. Okay, if I choose you, you've got these pros and cons, and you've got these pros and cons, and they were saying the same. I mean, if he was trying to get reassurance from Kaitlyn, he didn't get it, did he? She was
No.
pretty honest and said, "Well, I can't say what's going to happen in the future." So, she wanted to stay in the villa, as did Justine. I don't think either of them think there's a future with Trey. They were all just trying to figure out what the best option is from them. So that's the reason I'll cut him a little bit of slack. I didn't really feel like he was trying to play them both romantically today.
No, it's interesting that it is. Like I say, I think there was a bit of something with Caitlin, without a doubt. But well, you could be right with that. I think what's interesting, Dave. I mean, it's always the same. You know, that has sort of played itself out. Full stop. We're going to see over the next couple of episodes if he is as genuine as what he's saying, and there is something there because he already said Justine's the type of woman he wants to settle down with. I know that sounds a bit premature, 3 episodes in, but I've got a feeling we're going to hear these same speeches off Trey over the next week or so.
His, I think Justine will do well to keep her options open. I think because Trey will be, he'll definitely be, and I think ultimately I felt that in the conversation with Caitlin, and even the conversation I think it was with Johnny later, Trey was talking about who's more likely to have the head turned kind of thing. I just feel like he thought Caitlin's head would be turned quicker than Justine's. So, Justine was a safer bet. Honestly, it
Uh,
seems very cold, but that's how I read it.
You know what, Dave? I'll tell you what, your fucking Spidey senses maybe have been a lot better than mine this series so far. That actually sounds very logical, actually. So we'll see on that. We'll see. I will say though, Dave, we've got two new guys coming in, and before
Can I
we talk
just
about
say before we move off Trey, right? I think Trey thinks that a woman is like a unit of measure. So when he's doing the bench press, he's like, "Yeah, I think I can do, two women on the side of this." Well, at least fucking ask. What do you weigh? you
yeah,
it's like, and he made it worse. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, one side's heavier than the other," and I was like, "Oh fucking
yeah, I
hell!" Yeah.
saw that.
And tell
Yeah,
you what, he got away with it though, didn't he? I thought
yeah.
as soon as he said it, I thought you are in the fucking shit, sunshine. But he wasn't. He wasn't. He got away with it.
He was, and I tell you what, Dave, that takes some strength to do that.
Oh hi.
An
I mean, yeah,
abnormal load that's moving like that, that is so difficult. That's like, so the bar's 20K, say they're £120 each, £130. So just under 10 stone each. That's just, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not trying to body shame anyone. But so he's lifting a hell of a lot of weight there, Dave. That's about £300 and it's moving.
yeah,
So that's strong lad, very strong lad.
yeah.
However, talking about strong lads, Dave, um, Mr. McCool. Thought, he's got a great
Fucking
name.
McLovin.
Yeah, McLovin. You'd called him out slightly. I thought his name was great. You said Mr. McLovin and all that. Um, I'm getting a Patrick Bateman type feel for Mr. James Dave because I
Yeah.
am looking at an absolute American Psycho. So the two guys, send the message over. And you know what, Dave? I keep calling it piercing, and I think you've called it, it's
Yeah,
Kirsten, isn't it? I
yeah,
realised tonight, I was like,
Kirsten.
where the hell did we get piercing from? So anyone
And as
listening
usual,
who's
you lead me up the garden path, and I
yeah, I
go, yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, Pearson,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was thinking that thinking anyone who's listening is gonna be going, "Fucking Pearson, who the fuck's that?" That's actually a boy's name. I was thinking anyway, Kirsten. So Kirsten and Moira get picked out for a date, 2 new guys, Caleb and, Kelvin. Calvin, is it? And genuinely, he'd not even let, like, the ink dry on the message, and he was like, "Well, that's it. If she wants to go down there and see him, and if she wants to do this and I'm like, "Mate, she's not even left the villa to go and see this guy. Why
Yeah.
is he went for me, Dave, I've gone off that guy. I genuinely think Moira needs to fucking get rid of him."
He didn't do well from this episode, did he? I thought anything about him, I just thought he was a bit distasteful, to be honest. My first little bullet point here, though, Chris, was James skips leg day. Because he's got a cracking upper body, but when he had his little stick legs dangling into the pool, I was like, yeah, yeah, doesn't do his legs. That's a fucking horrible thing to say that, innit? I shouldn't do that. But anyway, because he's been to see you next Tuesday, I don't feel too bad about it. So he was basically, Chris, we alluded to it the other day. So in a couple of weeks, we're going to have the American Pie episode dropping on our VHS podcast, aren't you? And
Yeah.
if you want to hear two middle-aged blokes reminiscing about their younger teenage years and being absolutely childish and crying, laughing, then give that a listen. But we were talking about Kevin in that movie, and how he was pressuring Tara Reid's character into having sex. I felt like I was watching a rerun.
Yeah.
I thought he was being a bit out of order in his line of questioning. Now, it's almost one of those. It doesn't need to be said. I think I'd said yesterday that Moira seemed to be the one who looked to be escalating the physical side a little bit more than he did, but then roles seemed to have switched, and so he was basically, again, my second bullet point after the leg day thing was James just wants a shag.
Yeah.
And he was just pretty blatant about it. And then, she's like, well, not really comfortable. I mean, they're on fucking reality TV, for fuck's sake. All the family and friends are going to be watching, work colleagues probably, it's fucking, it's not, it's not cool, Chris, to be putting someone under that pressure. I don't think, and so
No.
he proper put himself in the bad books for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was awkward. He was a bit like he'd revealed himself like a baddie out of Scooby Doo, wasn't it? He'd like
Yeah.
took the mask dropped for him today. I mean, his reaction, if Moira genuinely had, she'd gone on a date, she'd kissed this guy, she did like Calvin, she did say, "I'm attracted to you, I'd like to get to know you," and all this, but she'd already said, I found it ridiculous that James has sort of drilled it into her about them being a couple and all this.
Hmm.
All right, fair enough. But that stuff with the pool before we'd even found out about the 2 new guys was completely wrong, and I think she was right to put the brakes on it, and I also think that if this carries on, Dave, he's gonna become quite, a hated figure within the show because you can't treat people or react to people that way. It's just not right. It's not
Yeah.
at the end of the day, he's not good. Like just not good as a person, as a human being. Moira's going to have a dog's dinner if he's not careful. Unless it's just a knee-jerk reaction, he's like, "I'm so sorry, how childish was I being?" And all. If we get all that, then fair enough. Anybody can have them wobbles. We all have insecurities. But my God, he just looked like a fucking nut job to me. He really did.
Yeah, it's the fact that you get those two bits, and someone, I think it was Caitlyn actually, who said, did you get anything resolved? And I think that's probably the most worrying thing, isn't it? Because they both walked off from the conversation and didn't really get on the same page, and so you just get the sense there's that initial attraction, but I don't really know. I don't see a long after today. I don't see a long term future. But you take that kind of unpleasant scene from the pool to how he reacted when she's been picked for a date. Now, ultimately, what the fuck has she done wrong there? She's been picked for a date. Before she went, she came over and gave him a kiss. But like you say, he was acting like Patrick Bateman, and he's fucking being a bit of a dick. So you take those 2 data points, right? 2 dick data points, you know, 3, and that's it. I'm done. You know, if you present yourself as a complete dick again, right? That's it. I think I know where to place you. And yeah, I'm still got the door open that he was just maybe having a bit of an off day, and he'll get back on it. But yeah, I don't like I say he's on my shit list at the minute.
Yeah, and I think he deserves to be on both our shit list, Dave. Let's be honest. There's no justifying that. I hope he redeems himself just for his own relationship. But Moira may, and quite rightly at the moment, I'm thinking, even though it sounds ridiculous, but I'm thinking, I think she's going to be right to look elsewhere if this carries on because
Yeah,
I'm getting vibes of Dave Connor from the UK one in February. Do you remember
the teeth.
um, the team? Yeah, he was really though on top one. What's she called? Oh, it was her out of
Sophie, was it?
Sophie. Yeah, Sophie. He was really on Sophie. One. He was really
Yeah.
uh, like the
Well,
emotional blackmail, everything.
yeah. I mean, he was. You could see his was driven by insecurity. There's something going on with James. I don't know if it's insecurity. He doesn't strike me as someone short of confidence. I think it's more of an arrogance, to be honest. Um, but yeah, like I say, it's those 2 things, and so we'll sort of keep an eye on him. But he needs to do a little bit to redeem himself, I think.
Oh,
Now, Chris, what
definitely.
what do you reckon to Sally and Johnny?
Dave, it's looking good. I mean, Johnny was very open, wasn't he? He said, like, if I can't see her, I go and find her just to talk to her, and she's sweet on him. I think Sally's becoming one of her fans' favourite. Dave, she seems like quite a grounded and well liked girl. So I think they look pretty sweet, Dave. I don't know if you've picked up on something, but I think that's probably one of the more genuine relationships.
Yeah, no, I mean, she's certainly saying all the right things. She's talking with the girls. She's saying how well they're getting on and stuff. And so, yeah, I think these look like they could be a strong couple. I think Jeremiah and Rachel look pretty strong as well. You know, and I thought Jeremiah maybe handled it a little bit better than James when Rachel's taken for or picked for a date, like the second date, wasn't it?
Yep.
So yeah, no, I think they're pretty good. Now, yesterday, Chris, you did make a prediction that Connor and Mackenzie would not last the distance, and I guess we didn't see too much of them tonight, did we? Together, but have you picked up on anything else? Are you still sticking to your guns there?
Sticking to it. I'm sticking to it, Dave. I know they recoupled and it was nice that Connor's speech. I'm still sticking to it, Dave. Let's see. Let's
Okay,
see.
I like the little pep talks. I think Mackenzie seems quite clued up. You know, she's talking to Justine and stuff, and giving us some advice and that when it comes to Trey and that. So I think, yeah, I'm still sticking to they will go maybe not the distance. Hey, you know, we've got Casa Amor in this series, Chris.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, I am not predicting shit with this lot up until Casa Amor because you know what that fucking place does. So you know. Who knows what's going to happen after that? But at least up until Casamore, Amor, I think they'll make it.
Yeah, and I think as well, Dave, the one thing I did observe from tonight's episode is how jealous I was that they were so close to the slot machines, and the fact that the ingenious way of going on a date, like you'd said, they're keeping them confined to the hotel. It's just to take them downstairs where the slots are. That's just basically where the main entrances is. So I thought that
Brilliant.
was great. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
You know what you're missing though? All the old grannies with the oxygen tanks sort of
And the
stood by the
smoking. Remember in the
by the
smoking, Dave? Yeah.
It's
It's
not
the only
quite the
place.
same there.
No, I'll tell you a quick story actually. When we we're in Vegas, and this is only purely because it's a Vegas story, everyone. So apologies. But what I did was when me and Sam went, we went 2012, Sam's 40th, absolutely loved it. We booked for 13 and we stayed at the MGM both years. So we went in the May and it was great. And obviously, one of the things is the smoking. The smoking is bad in the casinos. I know there's a few casinos now have got no smoking areas that they've started doing over the last couple of weeks with everything going on because they don't want people outside. At the end of the day, if they can't smoke, you can have congregations of people. They're not spending money in the casino. So that's why I think it's one of the rules that it's never been passed that they have to, anywhere else in America, you can't smoke inside like you can around the world. You can't around the world. So me and Sam are there, Dave, and I'm sitting down, and there's a row of like two machines, and they're always on like back to back with other machines. So you've got like a four, you've got eight machines, but they're all sort of backing onto each other in sort of this little bit of a circle. So this old woman's on, and this guy comes, and she was smoking like mad, and I was like, "Oh my god, she's right." I've got to fucking move. This is doing me head in. You know them
Mm.
horrible. They were almost like
Yeah, yeah.
cigar smell. I was like, "Oh, this is fucking rank." So I moved, and she got up, but she'd been on this machine for ages, and I was sort of near her, but I thought, "Oh, you know what? I'm going to go on it. She might have won it." And this guy sits next to me, and he's like, "Hi, mate, you're right." He was American, like, "Yeah, yeah." And I'm playing, and there was a card in the machine, like a credit card, and I couldn't work out what it was. And I took it out, and I think Sam was like round the on one of the other machines, quite close to me. And as I took it out, looked at it, and I thought, "That's a bit weird." Reward card. Anyway, took it, starts playing. Didn't win anything. Put $20 in. It went like fucking treacle, through a grid, Dave. It just
Yeah.
just disintegrated. So I got up, walked off. The card's on the side. The guy who sat next to me does the old license to alert, like Phoebe or Friends. He gets up and then gets on the machine. The old woman comes back, Dave, starts going mental at him because I didn't realize what you do is you put your card in the machine and it's
So,
like a rewards card. You leave it in the machine so when people sit down, they know that someone's on that machine.
is that like
So
Germans putting their
yeah, like a
towels on
towel
the
down.
sunbed?
So this guy then started winning, didn't he? I was watching going, you bastard. I turned around and he started winning. Not loads, but he won about $100. She come over and just starts going mental at him. How dare you? And all this. And I'm just like, what the
You're
fuck?
doing the fucking
I
Homer
was on the
Simpson
yeah,
in
I
the
was on
edge.
he turned round and pointed at me, and I'd fucking hid round the corner with someone going, "We gotta get the fuck out of here." She was going fucking loopy. I reckon she'd have beat me in a fight anyway, so I wasn't going to argue with her. I thought she was going to pull a fucking gun out in a minute. Oh, she was proper going mental, and I didn't even know. And I asked, there was an English couple we bumped into. I remember saying to, I think it was an English. Oh no, it's my sister. Sorry, it's my sister. English couple. My sister was there. She come afterwards, and I was like, and she went, "Yeah, that's like you just said, like a towel thing."
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't one of my better moments. I fucking shit it, Dave. But old granny's gonna pull out a sawn off and do me in.
Yeah. God. I don't. Do you know if the rest of the strip's open?
Obviously the Cromwell is out. I think the Mirage opened on the 27th.
I've been there.
MGM,
Yeah.
yep,
Stayed
MGM
there.
Bellagio, they're open. Bally's has only just opened because that was about 2 weeks ago. I think Paris is now open. There's not a lot of them open yet. They're like the Cromwell isn't, and that. I think the Flamingo is. I was looking at one of the groups on the UK one. There's a lot of Americans on there as well. Obviously, they can travel within the US.
Yeah.
There is stuff open, but there's a lot of places they dialed back, didn't they? So they opened everything up. And then they've had to dial it back on a lot of the bars and restaurants as well because the rate went right up. So
I
I think
suppose with
it's
the Vegas hotels as well, you've got all the air conditioning, the air being recycled and everything. So it's probably one of the worst places, isn't it? You know, if one person's got it in there, pretty much
yeah,
everyone's got it.
yeah. I think you're right because it is just circulated air. There's no clocks in there. Is there? There's only one clock in Las Vegas in the casinos, and that's in the Old Town on Fremont Street because they don't have clocks, people, because they don't want you knowing what time it is when you're
Exactly.
gambling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've done that. I've gone to bed at like 12, 1 o'clock, woke up at 6, gone to get some breakfast. Like they always have the cereal, like Kellogg stuff ready made. You can go to the little shops in the MGM, get me milk, and the same people are at the tables playing. Like just they're all like wooing and all that stuff. Whereas me, soft ass, I just play these slots. But yeah, it's a bizarre place if you've never been. And we were having a conversation with some of the guys on our Comics in Motion network, and one of the guys, Dan, had said he went, and his missus, he went on a stag do and absolutely loved it. But his missus has no interest in it, so we're hoping, Dave, aren't we, to arrange some sort of, be only fair to have a bit of a board meeting with the guys in Vegas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to keep brainstorming, Chris. We need to figure out how to get over there. But yeah, I'm sure we'll have plenty of Vegas stories as we go through this series because I love the place, and I think a stag do might be a bit much. I think it's called the City of Sin for a reason, isn't it?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm a bit more like it's like Disneyland for adults. I kind of like like going to Excalibur. Watching the old the knights, fighting on the horses and stuff. You do that medieval evening and stuff. So yeah, we'll talk about those through the series, I'm sure. But anyway, Chris, how are people going to get into contact with us?
As always, guys, if you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram at cdrealitycast, if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. Get any suggestions, letters in, anything. Letters, Dave. We've got a pigeon, we haven't got a P.O. box. Letters, hello. How old am I? P.O. box 121. Yeah.
Send us a pager.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. There's a pigeon just arrived at my door, Dave. No, right.
Yeah, we can't afford ravens. We have to have pigeons.
Anyway, if you want to email us about the show, we love them. Send them in, guys. We love talking about it. And I always say it every episode, if you can, drop us a review in your podcast catching out. It helps myself, Dave. It just grows the show, basically. And we will read them out as well, good or bad. Because we still don't know about women, Dave. The 1-star review's still there, and we totally agree with that review.
Brilliant. I love it. Awesome. Well, that's great, mate. And I guess I'll speak to you again tomorrow.
Take care.
Bye now.